So I just got off of the Zoom call with my psychiatrist, and I'm finishing up my Live Body pre-workout slash shredded powder lemonade. And I just wanted to process with you guys what it was like to have this psychiatrist appointment. So I actually have worked with this doctor for about a year and a half now. I had some terrible experiences with psychiatrists and nurse practitioners, which I think I mentioned earlier in this video, but I can do a whole video on how I found a good psychiatrist and what I look for in a psychiatrist. But for today, I just wanted to talk about a couple of key things that happened today in our appointment. One is he is a fantastic listener and always checks in with me as a human, and I really appreciate that. He does a really good job of recalling what we talked about in the past. So for me, I had a higher dose of oxcarbazepine in the morning and at evening. We kept the evening dosage the same from the previous months. And then over the last month, so over November, we basically met and we're like, let's go down, because I was going to try to go on to a different type of medication. So I went down on the oxcarbazepine in the morning, and I just dealt with so much more anxiety this past month. So we talked about that. I have an app on my phone called Daylio, and I highly recommend it. It's just got these little smiley faces. I think I pay $12 for the year, maybe 14. And basically I just say how I'm doing throughout the day with a little emoji. Sometimes I'll write notes in there, but for the most part, I just bare minimum try to get one of the faces in there of doing really great, doing kind of mediocre, doing bad, and then they have a couple others in between. But yeah, so I could actually track using the Daylio app, and it said I had a 15% decrease in my mood stability. And I can feel that. I definitely felt that way, but it was nice to have the data to support the conversation that I have with my psychiatrist. So again, that's Daylio. That's the app that I use. Daylio is how you spell it. But yeah, so we had a really good chat. I'm going back up on the oxcarbazepine to the dose I had previously, so in October. I was feeling pretty stable, and again, we were just trying to lower it so I could switch on to a different medication. But overall, I'm really happy with the way our call went. He was asking how stress was with work and with my own business. And it was just really helpful to have that conversation with him. It's always very reflective as well. So it's kind of like a mini therapy session, even though it's only 30 to 45 minutes. But yeah, it was encouraging because he helps me process, I'm working part-time and also running my business, but would I go back to full-time? How would that affect my stress levels? And we know that with bipolar, everyone gets affected by stress, but we're a little more sensitive to what that looks like. So yeah, it was just a really good call. I really genuinely enjoy connecting with this psychiatrist. And he always kind of makes me feel proud of the progress that I'm making. So yeah, really cool. I'm gonna go take the dog for a WALK. So I'm deciding to do that instead of a full workout because my body's really sore today, and I'm just quite tired still. I think it's from being sick. So trying to take care of myself, trying to rest up a little bit, but I did want to vlog a little bit and share what was going on with my psychiatrist appointment. So I'm looking forward to it. The other reason we went back up to the higher dosage is the holidays are coming up. So for the holidays, and I'm sure I'll vlog a little bit more about it, but we are gonna be, so we're in Massachusetts, we're just outside Boston, and then Daniel and I are driving to Pennsylvania. That's where he's from. So it's northern Pennsylvania. We'll spend some time in upstate New York with his sister, and then we're gonna fly out of Rochester, New York, to San Francisco to see my family. That's where I'm from. and we'll be there from Christmas Day to like New Year's Eve. And then we'll fly back on New Year's Eve to Rochester, and then come pick up the dog because my boyfriend's family is going to watch Samson, and then we'll drive back to Massachusetts, probably with like a day or two buffer to like reorient ourselves and everything. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. And so with that, I was like, okay, like I definitely need to feel more stable over Thanksgiving break. I felt very anxious, like a lot. And it was just like so hard to regulate, and I felt like I couldn't control it. So yeah, my psychiatrist was like, let's just take you back up to that dose. It was working for you. We can figure out the medication tweaks, um, like in January of 2025. Like there's no rush. Like especially if you can feel like I can feel stable on that past dosage. The other thing is like, and like this is probably a little TMI, but again, if this can help somebody, that's like what my goal is. But I'm on birth control to help regulate my menstrual cycle. I used to have like a very heavy flow, and so being on a progesterone based birth control has been really helpful. And I had an issue with my doctor. My OBGYN retired in October, so I actually like couldn't get my prescription refilled in November, and so my PCP, or my primary care physician, wouldn't refill it, even though he also had prescribed that and it was still open as like a available prescription from him. But he was like, I don't remember giving that to you. And I'm like, well, it's literally here, like on this paper, like that I have. I also have it virtually. I have the like prescription in my like portal for the pharmacy. And he just like wouldn't fill it. And so for like a week and a half, I didn't have any birth control. So then going back onto it in the middle of lowering this dose of oxcarbazepine, I had to had to reintroduce the new medication that I've been on for 4 years. Like there's no reason he shouldn't have filled it. My new OBGYN was like floored that he wouldn't fill it. She's like, you're not having any issues. In fact, not being on it for a couple of weeks is probably going to cause issues, which was true, because then I like any changes are a change. Like that sounds silly, but like it really made a big impact on my mood stability, and just like general well-being. So I ended up having like a really heavy period again, just this last week, and I finished this morning, which I'm very grateful for. But yeah, basically like I share all of that because I definitely can do a better job of staying on top of my meds, particularly like anything that's prescribed outside of my normal regimen. I feel like having my psychiatrist appointments once a month has been really helpful for reflection, but it's also been really helpful to make sure I'm on top of all my medications. He's always asking to make sure I have enough or enough refills for the next time till the next time we see each other. And especially we talked about that with regards to the holidays, since I'm not going to be in the state of Massachusetts for like 2.5 weeks roughly. So I really need to make sure I have everything I need for my trips. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Initially I was going to vlog the rest of the day, but I think I'll just close here, just so you get a little day in the life video snippet of what it's like to have bipolar and maintain regimen with like a psychiatrist regularly. If you like this type of video and want to know more about like my medication journey, I'm happy to jump on and do like a once a month post evaluation vlog after my psychiatrist appointments. Honestly, it's kind of helpful for me right now just to talk about it. So yeah, I will see you soon, and have a good holiday for everyone celebrating.